Hello and welcome everybody to this channel. My name is Rainer. This is Rainier Books. This is Sweden talking, Sweden speaking. And today is May the 3rd in 2022 and it is Tag Tuesday, time for a tag. And I found this beautiful tag today that I'm going to steal, I'm going to sneak away. It is the book buying tag that I saw at Fraser Simon's channel Springboard Thoughts, link in the description down below. And this tag was originated by Christine at Enter the Book. Watch both their channels, subscribe to both their channels, and after this, you hear my answers to the prompts of the book buying tag. Let me say a word before I start doing this tag, a word of what happens in the world, about what happens in the world right now. I was pretty confused and pretty angry today with this afternoon when I saw a picture on Twitter of a, not a billboard, but of advertising somewhere in Russia on Twitter where Sweden is being depicted as a Nazi country. And Swedes are mentioned, Swedish Nazis are mentioned by the Russian propaganda. Swedish Nazis such as Ingmar Bergman and Astrid Lindgren, among others. Also the IKEA founder Ingvar Kamprad is mentioned as a Nazi. He has a history when he was very, very young, when he was 16, 17 years old, that he sympathized with the Nazis in Germany. But I think after the Second World War, there's no talk about that Ingvar Kamprad was anything but a Democrat. So Sweden is depicted as a Nazi country. This has to do, of course, with the ongoing discussions about a Swedish membership of NATO. But we are a target, like everyone is a target. And that's why I'm saying this in the beginning of this video. Still help Ukraine, because Ukraine fights our war and we can be next. Really, we can be next. Let's get to the tag, okay? This is the book buying tag, and the first question is, do you plan your book purchases ahead or impulse buy? Luckily, it's not possible for me living in Sweden to buy books much on impulse anymore, since the Brexit has been executed. You know, first Britain decided to leave the Union, then it was actually a member a couple of years on and until 2021, because in 2020 the UK left the EU, but in 2021 it was in 2020 UK left the EU, but in 2020 it was still a member concerning the rules of taxation, and that was still possible for us here in Sweden and other countries in the EU to buy books and even used books at shops in the UK without paying customs for it. But then in 2021 this changed, and it has become a lot more difficult and much more expensive, first of all, to buy books directly in the UK. So I plan my book purchases. I look at what I did last year, like in October, November, December. I looked what is going to be published during the first half of the year of 2021, and I marked like 5 or 6 titles. Among them were Brown Girls, which was published in January. Among those titles was also Love Marriage by Monica Ali, and The Candy House by Jennifer Egan, which I ordered. So I really have them marked, those books that I order newly from the UK, and not from the UK anymore, but from my bookseller online. How do you decide what books to buy is the second question. Oh my gosh, that's difficult, of course, not so easy to answer this one. Well, a description of a book has to catch my eye, has to sort of interest me, has to engage me. And when I have a description that is tempting, set of characters, surrounding where something is set, then it might interest me, and then it might get my attention, and then I might even buy it. So, but sometimes, of course, and the more we are into books, the more we are into BookTube and into new books, there are writers who have left an impression on me, a good impression on me, with their first or second or third or fourth, with the first book that I read by them. So that has led to a situation where so for example, a book that I will buy, I think in June, by Kali Fajardo and Steen, a writer from Colorado, who came to my attention with her short story collection, Karina and Sabina, in 2019, when she was nominated for the National Book Award. She will publish her first novel in this summer, and I'm very interested. I'm going to buy that. I will buy the first buy for me, at least. I read Heaven by Miyako Kawakami last year, and I'm going to buy her new book, All the Lovers in the Night, maybe already in 2 weeks. More about that later on. Number 3, what is your philosophy on where you shop? Online versus in-person, large versus small, physical, digital, or audio, new versus used, etc. Well, that's a disadvantage if you don't live in an English-speaking country. It's a certain disadvantage because I don't have those opportunities at all. I don't have all these opportunities. I just can't walk down the street and hit the bookshop around the corner where Hugh Grant is working, like in Notting Hill. So I don't have the bookshop over there that is selling hundreds and thousands of English books, that is big, that has a chain. So what I have to do is I have to look at the opportunities I got, right? And the ones I got is, of course, The Big A by the second richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos, his name, I guess, by Amazon. And I have stopped more or less buying books at Amazon, except for Kindling. I'm sitting with a Kindling because of the bad working situation of so many workers at Amazon, because I also read the book Nomadland by Jessica Bruder. I saw the movie also. I raved about both of the things. Read the book, see the movie if you haven't done so, where you can see thousands of Americans or hundreds of Americans, very old Americans in their 60s and 70s who work for Amazon and who don't have a home, who live with their RVs on the parking lots somewhere in American states. No, not Amazon. So I have a Swedish seller, where I buy books. It's called www.bokus.com, and maybe, I don't know, maybe, that's my suspicion, maybe they buy books at Amazon somehow. I have a contract with Amazon and get them to me. I don't know that. Then I have a bookshop in Oxford where I sometimes order books because they send them still free of customs in a way that I won't describe here on video. And used books I used to buy also online at a site called alibris.com. I think it's available both in the US and in the UK. That was a very good site which collected used books from several sellers in the UK, but that is much too expensive now. It's really expensive, so I don't do that anymore. So when I buy a book, when I would buy a book that costs like £3 or £5, it would cost like £15 until I get it, and that's ridiculous. So that my philosophy would be small bookshops, would be of course always fair bookshops that are really engaged in literature, that are not business corporations, but it's not so easy, as you all know. Number 4, what about little free libraries? What do you think about them? Have you used one? Why or why not? I haven't used little free libraries because I really don't know what that is. I saw once in my life, and I think I will have to find a picture and to show it here. When I was in Vancouver with my beautiful daughter, we saw on the campus of the University of British Columbia, we saw some kind of libraries where you could just get a book and put in a new book into a shelf that was standing there somewhere on the street of the campus. That was very interesting. Maybe you are talking about that. I would love that. That's interesting. But I don't know about that too much here in Sweden. How do you feel after acquiring a book? Do you share like in a book haul or a diary? You always feel good when a book arrives. When you unpack a book, when you see the cover, when you see how it looks like, how Civil War starts. It's beautiful to feel that book, and that's what still makes me like those books more than Kindles or ebooks, other ebooks. So it always makes me feel good to get a new book onto my shelves. Don't buy so much books, actually. I think I'm okay with my book buying stuff. So a lot of library is extremely well here in Stockholm, the library system. Maybe I have to try to make a video in a library once. I don't know if it's allowed to film there, but maybe I could ask and show you around in the Swedish library and tell you all about how the Swedish library system is working. Number 6, how do you feel looking at your books that haven't been read? Does it matter if it's currently a lot or a little amount? No, it doesn't. But not always, but sometimes I think about it, of course. Oh my God, there's so many books that I've bought that I haven't read yet. But that happens to each and every one of us. And the important thing, I think, is and that's where I've come to, where I came to, what actually has worked. For example, this year I bought 2 new books, Brown Girls and Love Marriage, and I read both of them already. So I want to read the new books as soon as I get them and order them more on purpose. And yeah, I want this one, I want this Kali Forjado-Anstine, I want this Miyako Kawakami, and then really read them. And also tried, of course, to read something of the backlist that I have. And for example, I read Canada by Richard Ford, which has been on my shelves for like 3 or 4 years before I read it. That sounds good, right? But there are flaws somewhere. How do you decide what number of unread books is the right amount? I have not decided that, and I'm not going to decide that. I have a lot of books that are unread. I know that. I think it's about, honestly, at the end of the day, 50% maybe of what I own. And I have realized that I will never read, probably I will never finish all the books that are on my shelves during my lifetime. That's something I just have to accept. I think a lot of us have to accept this more or less, which doesn't mean that we are we're not going to read, but there's so much more that we're going to buy, there's so much more that we're going to borrow from libraries, so I think we just have to live with the fact that we're not going to read all that we own. Do you have a TBR game or process for reading them? No, I have not. Sometimes I see these number generators on the internet. Sometimes I did that, but I did that last year for the first time. It did not work properly. I will do it again. Definitely, it's a good idea with this question to try to pick like 20 books and then let a generator pick a number, and then I will hopefully read that book. Let's see if that works. Number 9, do you have a book buying problem? If so, what is the nature of it and can it be adjusted? No, I don't have a book buying problem. I'm very happy about that. It's like with playing betting games I think it's very interesting and exciting playing computer games, but everything can get us addicted, and sometimes you have to, and until this point in my life, which is the majority of the time that I have been lucky to be able to not get any kind of addiction, I think. So I'm lucky, but if you have a book buying problem, then you really have to adjust it. You really have to do something about it, because it will both steal away your space in your apartments. The books will be everywhere, and also money-wise, it can be a huge problem, especially if you have to pay a rent. Especially you have to put bread on the table for your family. So if you have a book buying problem, really take it serious. And there is help to get for everything, I guess. And oh my God, that was the last question. Take 2 or 3 others to ponder their book buying process. I won't do that. As always, I steal tax and I don't tax so much other people. I thank you very much for watching this video. I'm still working on my Richard Ford single review on Canada, because this is a complex book, right? And I will hope to deliver that one of these days. And I might be back on Thursday instead with another video, which is a giveaway video. Slowly, Reiner. A giveaway video where I present a couple of books that I want to unhaul, that I want to give to you, my beautiful and wonderful viewers, everywhere around the world. So, see you then. See you on Tuesday. See you on Thursday. Have a great evening. Be safe, and bye-bye.